to you from the floor of the CME Group. I'm Eric Wolfman Wilkinson. Let's get in the zone, the cash money zone. Well, we had a couple economic numbers coming out today. The ISM number showed contraction in the economy again here. We're also seeing all these numbers come out from the stocks and stuff like that. Their earnings reports are actually kind of a little bit on the soft side. We're still seeing a little bit of upward action. I told you about that S&P resistance level at 1381. That kind of held today. On the downside, we came down to the 1370s. I did have a little bit of a support there. My real major support is down to 1363, and like I said yesterday, the point of control is 1344. But basically, they're kind of seeing the levers and pulleys go on, and here, we're kind of tracing off of this crude oil market that I talked to you about. Every time crude oil starts rallying, we kind of get a little bit of lift getting drug up with it. The reason why is because if corn starts going up, it makes the ethanol producers look a little bit more enticing. If that crude oil's selling off and we're rallying, those ethanol guys are getting killed. But anyway, on to the corn. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're seeing a lot of in the drought areas. Even though this is northwest Indiana, they get a lot of the rain coming off the lake. Basically, we're getting some of the lake effect rains here, but it's not really helping it out. The corn is actually more concerned about trying to just grow rather than to try and produce the kernels. So this one has like 10 kernels on it. We're also seeing this. You might see a couple of these on a stalk or two, and then 5 stalks that'll have a cob like this. This is tip back. This corn's kind of gone pretty good, and then it got into the drought, basically shut down all production. We're getting this. This is kernel abortion. Basically, it started growing and decided, no, we can't afford to spend that energy on a cob right now, and it's going to start pulling back. These are some great views. This is what I've seen about 150 miles this morning driving through northwest Indiana. Basically, not the necessarily major drought area, but what is supposed to be the good or fair corn is coming up with something like this. I'm looking at basically 125 bushels per acre on the good end to 0 on the other end. So that's what we're getting, a mixed bag. You could be driving down the road. This guy's getting 150 on this side of the street. This side of the street, he's coming up with 0. So it just kind of is coming down to what the farmers planted, what type of hybrid strain they put in the ground. If they went with something that was going to be non-drought resistant, they're getting something like this or worse. This is probably the drought resistance corn, that GMO that we've been talking about, or I've been saying on Twitter. So keep it. It's really hard to keep track of what this bushel per acre is going to be. But like I've said on Twitter a couple of times, my bushel per acre for the corn for the national average is going to be about 128. Starting to get a little bit of wobbly knees when I start seeing this stuff in the northwest region of Indiana, but I'm going to still hold it at 128. The beans, on the other hand, waist to chest high, looking really good across the street from the corn where I got this one. Basically waist high on the bean aspect. So the beans are actually looking pretty good throughout. We need a little bit more rain. 10-day forecast is saying nothing. It's going to be hot again, but the beans need some rain. That could still save their crop. All right? So if you can't take that, take it easy.